Welcome to the Semi-Toxic Podcast. There's worse things out there for you. My name is DeadSlayer54.
I'm Marigold54.
I'm Kai.
We wrote topics and the host, that's me, will pick them using a random number generator. And today we'll be talking about sleepwalking.
Hey.
If you're watching this, don't forget to like and subscribe. So, today's topic is pretty much sleepwalking. It could be if you know you sleepwalk and anything that happened with you, if you know others who sleepwalk, or if you have any stories of others sleepwalking. The floor is open.
I mean, I did tell mine before, where like I really like I definitely sleepwalked a lot. I sleepwalked a lot when I was a kid, and then I walked to the top of the stairs once and started going, "Mom, I want to go home." And my mom, who was awake, was like, "What the fuck is going on?" And like went and like I sit and like and then it, like went below me so I wouldn't fall down the stairs. And she's like, God, like my poor mom. He's seeing a kid going,
I know, I think I would have hunted my child.
Whoops, time to get a new one.
Yeah, that one's broken. It's got demons in it. DeadSlayer, do you want to tell the cathartic story?
Oh, yeah. So, I guess you can't exactly call it sleepwalking because absolutely zero walking has ensued during the story.
You got up.
Sort of. So, I'll tell it from the way I remember it. You can correct me if I miss any details or if I exaggerate a little more than is storytelling acceptable. And so, we were little. How old were we, give or take?
I don't even know, man.
We were like 5 or some shit.
Had to be younger than that because like mom was in the army by then. Mom was deployed by then.
Slightly younger than that. So we were little, and so we were sleeping in a basically it was supposed to be a guest room, but it also had like the best AC, so that was also where we liked to sleep during the summer.
It's the only room with a heater and the only room with an AC, and the beds are adjustable.
Exactly. So it's just beautiful. The guests had it much better than everyone else in the house. But so we were sleeping there. I was out cold, and apparently, so we had a computer on on one of the tables to the side of the bed, and apparently I rose up all fucking Nosferatu style, like just like slowly get up. They just look over to me. I just raise my arm, eyes closed, and point at the computer. I'm just like cut, farted, and then I just plop back down and go back to sleep.
The thing is, your voice was so concerned. It was you were like in distress when you sat up and like and you like went towards the edge of the bed and like mom was like, "What's wrong?" And you went farted, and then you just immediately fell back to sleep.
I thought you were gonna say something like, "The prophecy has come. The days of fire and reckoning are coming."
I called it the cathartic story for a reason.
So, Marigold, do you have any stories of sleepwalking or friends who sleepwalk?
The only thing I could think of isn't really a story, but when we were young and sleeping in the bunk beds, that one day I went to sleep on the top bunk, but in the morning when I woke up, I was in the middle of the floor.
In the middle of the floor, Bethesda glitch in lifestyle?
No, like in the middle of the room, on the floor, face down. I was young, so I thought I had just fallen, but
I mean that's something
some distance to traverse after having fallen.
That's something fair. Like
yeah,
I think I've always rolled around my sleep a little, like tossed, but like I think I used to death roll.
Like a crocodile.
Yeah, so because like I never so I'd gain distance. You know what I mean? Like I'd be like, and like I'd be wrapped up in my blankets and stuff like that, like a tortilla.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice. Well, but there's no way I could have actually fallen out of the bed like I thought when I was a kid, because not only were there railings and stuff, but like that would have probably killed me given how small I was.
James, did you like, is this like an elaborate prank where you like picked her up, took her down the ladder without her knowing, and then deposited her in the floor without her waking up?
I think at the time that she's probably mentioning it, I think like at best I might have been able to pick her up but not actually like hold her for any real length of time.
And that would have woken me up. I was kind of a light sleeper, man.
Maybe
Yeah.
did you drug her? Tell me truly.
Oh, absolutely. I had so many contacts in
Yeah.
like preschool.
Yeah, just a 6-year-old.
It was just like the Breaking Bad set where they would be using like fucking the pop rocks,
Oh.
except it was actually pop rocks. And so,
I
so
don't
I
think I
have a
have
few
enough.
stories,
Oh, let's hear him.
mostly because of basic training.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah. You told me that.
yeah. So there is this for those who aren't fully familiar with the whole basic training thing, before you actually go to basic training, you go to what's called reception. That's
Yeah,
where you get majority of your shots and paperwork and your issued gear and whatnot.
yeah,
Uh, and so also at reception, that's also where you get introduced to the idea of how your schedule is going to be, you know, done. So when I got to reception, it was about, I want to say like 3:40 something, 3:50 in the morning. And so like, I was up all night because traveling.
yeah.
And that was perfect time to show up because that meant I was just in time for 4 o'clock wake up. And so yeah, we there was not much sleeping happening at reception. And I guess that might have affected some people because the next night when we actually were able to get some sleep, I was on fire guard, and it was like there was a lot of people because it was a bunch of different basic training batches all in one area, and so there was like 6 or 7 people on fire guard at a time to have enough coverage of the room. And naturally, we would like walk a couple laps around, make sure everyone's in bed and, sleeping and whatnot. If anyone has any problems, then whatever. But ultimately, we would just group up at the door and we would just talk and shit because we were there for like, our shift was like 2 hours each time. And so there was a time where I was just talking with the other people on fire guard, and one of the kids rolls out of the top bunk, drops on the floor, and then like goes to parade rest, and then just in parade rest. So it was like his legs are like spread out about shoulder width apart, his hands are behind his back, and he just waddles to us because he's not breaking parade rest as he's trying to run to us. And
Poor
then
kid's been there too long.
probably, and could have. I couldn't imagine it being longer than like a couple nights at most, because I think he actually showed up with my batch, and
Mm.
so he stands in front of us at parade rest, and neither of us were prior service, so neither of us were NCOs, so that wasn't actually needed for either of us, and more so, he's like, "I'm ready, drill sergeant."
Mm.
I'm, what the fuck? I'm ready for
Thank you.
I'm ready for PE in the morning. He's like, dude, one, we're not drill sergeants. Two, it's like 1:30 in the morning. You go back to bed. You have like another 3.5 hours or 2.5 hours. And so it's like he was like, okay, okay. Turns around, still in parade rest, waddles back to his bed, and then climbs back in. And like his eyes weren't open at all, and he didn't remember anything the next morning.
That's pretty good.
Like another time there was this one kid. So you remember how I mentioned, like in the Cafarted story, I like rose up like torso only, all Nosferatu style to get up. Another kid rose up exactly like that, or according to one of the other kids on fire guard, because that was when I was walking around. So like I walk back to the group who's all staring at this one kid who is sitting upright in bed, and they explained to me he just slowly rose, like really slowly, like the abdominal muscles that would be required to get that effect.
Uh,
Guess he'd
and
been
his
doing a lot of sit-ups.
he's just staring straight at us. Like we tried moving, and he wasn't like, if the group moved, he would kind of turn his head to the group, but he wasn't looking at any of us in particular, which was kind of odd. But his eyes were like wide open, not blinking, and he would just stare at us, and we're like, is he okay? What's going on here? Does he need some meds? And then like eventually he just like turns his head back to like face straight, and then slowly lowers back down.
It was a power move. He was trying to intimidate you guys.
If he was, it fucking worked.
I remember, like, I definitely had some of those moments as well, like where I just pop right up. I just
I
like,
need to record myself sleeping at some point because I want to see if I do that. I know I roll because when me trying to sleep is you spin me right
yeah,
like
exactly.
all night long.
There was one time, like, I remember, like, it's when I used to go to conventions with my friends. You couldn't move anywhere because you'd be around with like 10 other people.
Hmm.
And I just remember for some reason, like, my friend decided to play video games at like 3 a.m., and I
Oh,
popped
James
up.
did that.
I popped up, and I went, "Wow, you're playing that one," and then I just popped back down. Apparently, like a jack in the like a jack in the box. Like I went, and, and then I'm like, "So you're playing that?" And I went right back down and went to bed. And my friend's
So your
like,
subconscious is really judgy.
"It really is." Like my friend's like, "Dude, it was like you were fucking possessed, man." He just like popped right up, and I'm like, "Oh, did I?" And he's like, "Yeah." It really is. I think like I said this to like or like sometimes like I'll respond to something that happened hours ago that my subconscious picked up.
Hmm.
So like people will be watching TV and I'm like, man, that show sucks. And they're like, bro, the TV's been off for like an hour. And I'm like, oh.
So, about playing games at 3 a.m., Mom took us on a vacation to New Orleans at one point, and fucking DeadSlayer decided to play something on his computer in the same hotel room while we were like right next to each other and whatever. And he even had the volume on and stuff.
I had to be stealthy, so I had to have the volume on.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
they wouldn't
fucker, I was
expect
trying to
that.
sleep. And so like I keep like whispering at him because I don't want to wake mom up to like turn it off, motherfucker. We have to walk around all day tomorrow. What are you doing? Let me sleep, you goddamn jackass. And mom eventually,
Beep beep.
mom eventually just like, oh god damn it, now I'm never getting back to sleep. And like she takes me to get beignets because like Dead Slayer's too into his video game to
Like
get
at 2
get
a.m.?
any with us. Yeah, Cafe de Monde. It's apparently open 24/7.
Oh wow. That sounds
Yeah, so
nice.
there was no one there. It was super crowded, like during the daytime, but at like 3 a.m., there's no one there.
Oh,
So
it's
we got
great.
3 a.m. beignets and some hot
I
chocolate.
love
It was great.
beignets. Mm.
You're welcome.
Fuck you.
Like I don't know, it's like I don't know if this counts as sleepwalking, but like I used to think it was really cool. Like again, this is my edgier days. Really cool to like sleep with my eyes open. So I tried to
Oh
do it
yeah.
as much as I could. But like I don't know, have you ever actually succeeded in it?
I know some people who did information.
Yeah,
It was
so
fucking hysterical.
like it happened to me, but my eyes would actually go into like the REM thing, right? Not the REM thing, but like so instead of just like having my eyes open and be asleep, my eyes would be open, but they'd roll back. So I would just have the fucking underthinking thing. So I'd be lying against the wall because I really wanted to do it because I thought it was cool, and I'd be like, and my eyes would just like roll back in my head, and people were like, "Ah!"
The end is nigh.
The end.
One of the dead have
See, I
risen.
told you. See, I told you. You gotta throw out the whole child. It's got demons in it.
It's too late. I'm past warranty.
Roll your eyes a little further back. You might find a brain in there.
Okay.
There was this
So,
one kid who would have arguments with someone, like entire one-sided arguments, because we'd only hear
Oh.
his side, of course. And I was
it'd be
curious
concerning if you
what the
heard the
other
other
side
side.
was. Huh?
It'd be concerning if you heard the other side.
I mean, true, but like if it were the other side, then I could imagine that's like what he's dreaming, and he's like just thinking of both parts. But no, I only hear his side. He's screaming at someone and just going all out, like bringing up all sorts of personal shit that I had no right knowing. It's I wish I could remember, but sadly, it was at like 2 in the morning, and I was fucking exhausted. But like he would be yelling at someone, like bringing up all sorts of like dirt from the past apparently, and like just using it. I'm just like, oh no, she didn't. Like I could tell it was probably his significant other, or at least a female that he was like close with somehow. And like so it's like he'd keep yelling, and everyone else would be just like yelling at me to wake him up so that he would stop. And I'm just like, fuck no, I want to see where this is going.
He hasn't spilled all the tea yet. I gotta figure it out.
Exactly. So fucking like he would just argue, and then like eventually he'd wake himself up from screaming.
So, mom actually is able to fall asleep with her eyes open and while
Oh,
like writing something down. Something that she can use whenever she's like in a bunch of meetings. But the
oh,
problem is yeah, if she's been going for like 2 or 3 days straight and she's still got meetings to go to, she could just sleep then. But the problem is it's kind of easy to figure out what her tells are if you're paying any sort of attention. Because like first
oh,
it'll start that her nose will get like super super runny, and the second
oh,
one is yeah, gross. And the second one is of course that all the stuff she's writing turns into complete gibberish.
oh.
Like it looks like it could be letters in some sort of other language, and she does know a lot of languages.
That
So
happens
it's
to
not too
me.
impossible, but none of it is
Yeah,
actual real letters.
that happens to me at school. Like I didn't even notice I was falling asleep in school. Like until like I remember like yeah I write and it like comes all bad and then like I got texted and someone's like stay awake Kai.
Yeah,
I'm like oh shit.
so like yeah, so like mom's friends will like elbow her, or if it's like a boss that she likes and and like the boss pays attention, any sort of attention, as soon as her nose starts running, he'll like send her out or something.
Everyone knows about it. That's great.
Yeah, pretty much. It's an open secret.
I have this thing where like I'll have my hand on the desk and I'll be just like shaking it back and forth, like just making sure that it's moving, both to help keep me awake to get like some blood flowing, but also because I noticed that if I start to fall asleep, then the moment my hand stops moving, I can feel the difference, and then that'll help me wake myself up,
Well,
and
that's
then I
good.
can go back to shaking my hand.
That's smart.
So if you see me like if you're talking and you see me just like if I'm just shaking my legs and whatnot, then I'm just moving, I'm just fidgety. But if I'm shaking my hand, I'm falling asleep and I'm trying not to.
Smart though. That's a good way of keeping yourself
Yeah, I
up.
just thought you liked flapping. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm a 20s flapper.
Quick question. Did I talk about sleeping with my eyes open or did I just dream that?
No,
You
you
did.
talked about it.
Okay,
You
good.
Yeah,
I
your
was
eyes like
like
rolled back.
I was closing my eyes when I was talking about that.
You were falling asleep with your eyes open while talking about falling asleep with your eyes open.
No, I had my eyes closed when I was saying that story, so I wasn't actually sure if I was awake or not when I said that story.
Official opinion of the Semi Toxic Podcast. Everyone should make a podcast. It's so easy. Kai's doing it in his sleep.
It's not that hard.
Anyone can cook. That doesn't mean everyone's good at it, though.
Just like cooking, as Marigold can probably attest to.
Fuck you. Anyway, I'm not sure if this counts as sleepwalking because it's really more like sleep punching.
Yeah, it counts.
Eat shit, Bob Ross.
Yeah, no, just every now and then I'll just punch a
Yeah.
wall and it really hurts and always wakes me up.
I mean, you do that when you're awake
I'll like
too.
graze.
Like you'll be so excited, you'll go like bam. Ah!
Okay, yeah, but at least when I'm awake, I'm not actually trying to punch anything.
It's true. You almost pushed me into traffic once though, when you were awake.
Yeah, I'm sorry about
I'm-
that.
Like, she's just
when she was
awake.
so this isn't even about sleepwalking. You're
No,
just
this
throwing
is
her under
like
the bus.
yeah. I'm
Okay.
just saying like, well, she almost threw me under the bus. So literally, so she was just being playful, and she's like, tee hee, push, and I'm like, ah. She...
I said stop.
So I like to hip check my friends.
She likes to brake check people in real life. As if driving wasn't real life.
God,
You
like,
believe in cars?
so like I actually have a. This is actually like an expansion of what we talked about in the other dreams episode, where in the other sleep episode, where like where I was saying that like I can transfer some of my punches into dreams and stuff. Well, like apparently, recently, in like I've noticed that like that I'll try to like because I know that punches and kicks don't work in dreams, I'll try to headbutt someone in a dream now. So now in my dreams, and it translates into real life where I'm like, because I woke up like, and I have like I sleep on like a couch, and I was like headbutting the couch, and I was like, I was like, what am I
So,
doing?
to compensate for the fact that you can't fight in your dreams, you turned into a mountain goat.
Yeah, but hey, like it's not punching in dreams, it's headbutting, and it worked in the dream. I headbutted someone and they got hurt. So,
Oh, sick.
exactly, it's my new
And
strategy.
see, you say that I like hurting people. You're literally dreaming about hurting people.
Yeah, but I'm not actually doing. You dream about hurting people too. We remember the last episode. We were
No,
like, I want to,
they're never
I want a
actually people.
capybara
They're
that
more
kills
like
people.
amorphous blobs.
No, no, I meant like dreaming as in like hoping for. But okay, like that. I guess you're doing both. People are just amorphous blobs to me.
Do you remember that one Very Odd Parents episode?
Oh yeah,
Where
everyone's
like,
amorphous blob, but we're more grayer
yeah,
and blobbier than the
we're
rest.
grayer and more blobbier than everyone else.
Oh my god, rest in peace, man.
Wait, who?
Gilbert Godfrey, he died like last year.
Oh.
Yeah, didn't he?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't been looking.
I remember
Yeah,
hearing
he
about it.
died last year. Yeah, April last year. Yeah.
Oh,
He played. He was the dentist who also
yeah.
yeah
Who also played his son,
yeah and Iago.
and Iago.
Hmm.
Basically.
Well, I have a question for you guys. Do you really think like do you really think it's bad to like wake people up? I think like
Not at all.
don't you think that like aren't you like tempted to like go like pick them up or something like that if you see them in
Pick them
bed?
up?
Like, I think I mentioned another one like tackle them, but I think that's too violent. I just wanted to
Yeah,
like
that's a bit. They're
but
sleeping.
no like
What
if
you
you
do is you gently shake their shoulder.
no if you like gently pick them up like that, will they have like a running dream like a dog? Will they go like like,
That would be cute, actually. I'm so okay. So my dog likes to wake himself up by barking.
he barks and wakes
He'll
himself
be
up.
like, yeah, he'll be like running in his sleep, so his paws will be twitching. And he'll be making like little yipping noises in his sleep, like.
Aw.
Except he's a really big dog,
Boof.
so like you can tell he'll wake up because his barks go from like yips to like actual boofs to full on barks, and then he like wakes up barking, looking everywhere, like.
I love dog sleepwalking. It's so cute. It's like the running dreams.
Poor Sebastian. That's the dog,
Not the crab.
not the crab. I'm talking about the Great Pyrenees.
Damn.
Great
Sebastian
Pyrenees.
did have a good Pyrenees.
You can have that knee, but you can't have this in Disney.
Oh, she made a pun out of that too. I got it. Like, okay, solution for sleepwalking that I have: bag.
Bag
Yeah, just throw a bag over them.
so throw a bag over their head.
No, their entire body. Are you kidding me? What head? You'll scare them.
And a bag won't.
No, and you have a drawstring. You have a drawstring bag, and you put the drawstrings on the bedposts, so when they start walking, it closes by itself, so they're not
Right, and it trips
uncomfortable.
them and they fall face first on their face because they can't put their arms out because they're in a giant bag.
And it gently wakes them up
Gently.
with a thud. We're such a good
Alright,
trip.
my solution for sleepwalking is you put a GoPro on them, right? you, you put a GoPro and then you sell the preceding footage to like a media producer.
God, but what if you're like, what if you go through footage and you're like, why are you in Mrs. Wilson's closet? Why are you just watching her and Mr. Wilson all night?
They're sleep perverts?
Have your friend fall asleep on a haunted house and have them sleepwalk with a GoPro and then put the footage on YouTube as if you're playing Phasmophobia, just with really good graphics.
Oh my god, you'll make people so like depressed. They're like, why isn't he getting scared?
Oh, have you ever seen that one skit about like the sleepwalking, then sleep florist, and then sleep singer,
No.
but only Taylor Swift songs?
I'm just saying, like, what if you could use that to like work out? Like, if you knew someone's gonna walk, could you put them on a treadmill and like time it right so they're actually like moving?
Yes.
And then they finally
I
like
need to
stop
lose weight
walking,
somehow.
and they're just standing there, and then they just get yeeted across the room.
Yeah, when they stop walking, they're like gently waking them up,
Gently.
gently, as gently as possible.
Gently
Progressive
waking up with their
maintenance.
face on the floor.
Percussive maintenance, yeah. Like, how'd this happen?
When exercise is so easy, they're doing it in their sleep.
Oh, Pokemon is releasing a new slap.
A new slap?
A new slut? A what?
A new slap.
You slut.
Pokemon Sleep, a companion to Pokemon Go, where you can cuddle with Pokemon, but they're all digital, so you're just lonely in your bed.
Do they have Machamp?
They do have Machamp. They have all the
Oh
Pokemon.
God!
You can sleep with Snorlax.
Come to bed.
That's reminding me of all the memes of like the
Trainer,
dad walking
you
in
need
on
your
his sons. Like, we need to talk about the Pokemon you've been catching
Oh
lately.
yeah! He's got all the buff
Oh, no.
Pokemon. He's got Lit Kitty. He's got Machamp.
He's got Lopunny and Gardevoir.
You know, I was gonna
And
make a joke
Vaporeon.
about like Wilmer, but actually, he's like a huge bag of air, so he would be cool to sleep on top of.
It wouldn't be very comfortable for Whalmer, I'd imagine.
Well, he's so huge, he probably doesn't even know you're there.
Okay, but he's underwater, so like unless you bring him up to land, you can't sleep on him.
Then I'd bring him up to land.
So that you could sleep on him.
Yes. He's a mammal.
Then he's uncomfortable.
He's a mammal. He can breathe.
He's a whale.
He's a mammal.
They need water. There's a reason whales live in water.
He's a Pokemon.
You're a Pokemon.
You know, according to one of the game theories, we are all Pokemon.
Oh, whoa! You don't say.
Yeah. No.
Wowzers! I'm really going to reevaluate my life choices.
I wonder if the Pokemon Sleep includes a feature where it's like you want to snuggle with your Charmander, but the fire on its tail kind of burns, so you like just douse that real quick and then you sleep with it.
That's like so you kill it and then sleep with its corpse. That's dark, man.
Somehow I don't think they're going to include that in the app.
Yeah, how
Maybe in
about
a DLC.
Dude, I don't think that. Yeah, I think Pokemon Snuff is not within Nintendo's wheelhouse. Just saying.
What about that pig that needs to keep bouncing?
Hop
Oh,
it.
Sproing.
You need
Sproing.
Yeah, you
Sproing.
need
Yeah, is
you need
Sproing?
to,
Something like that. Yeah, is it
yeah,
Sproing? Yeah.
like
Is it
how
Hop
can
Pip or
it
Sproing?
survive a night with
It just keeps bouncing.
It's Spoink.
Spoink? That's
Yeah.
it.
It's Spoink, and I was thinking of the lettuce helicopter.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're right. It never stops. That sucks, dude.
It's not the only Pokemon with a sucky life. To be fair,
It keeps its heart beating. That's really creepy.
what's even creepier is that they don't always bounce in the anime.
Yeah, I noticed that they stop and start looking around. Maybe they do it to, like, to get thrills, like they stop their heart and go, and then like get the blood flipping again.
So Spoinks are masochists.
They're thrill seekers, man.
They want to test their limits. They want to see if they can take it.
Exactly. They're actually absolute chads despite their cute appearance. That pearl on their head, it's wait!
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining us in this semi-toxic discussion. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment strange sleepwalking experiences that you or your friends have had down below. Cheers.
Good night.
Bye.